Well, I'm hoping we're live, and if so, it's my pleasure to be here tonight with Jack Coleman. Welcome, Jack Coleman.
Pleasure to be here, Smugsy. So right off the bat, I think the fans need to know: am I talking to Smugsy tonight? Am I talking to Cynthia? What's the deal here right off the bat?
Well, tonight you're speaking with Smugsy, but I'm happy to step out of that role if some of the people watching need some clarification. I mean,
I think that we can get into that a little more. But I think the best way to start it off is just kind of give the background to this.
Oh, I got to put on my Smugsy. Sure. The main reason why Smugsy exists.
Well, I was talking about our background in terms of where we come from and how this all started and where this originated. Yeah.
Well, this originated on the Kirk Minahan show.
Yes.
Yeah. So Smugsy was born on the Kirk Minahan show as a parody account and then was essentially canceled. And so she sort of, like the Phoenix, just decided to be kind of an example at Barstool as how to survive cancel culture. So Smugsy is just, a unique personality in the Barstool space.
So my first question is, why Smugsy? Why this name? Is it because you're kind of smug about the way that you talk in these pieces? Is it some kind of child name, like nickname or something like that? Where does this originate from?
Steve Robinson described my muse, the person who's me when I'm not Smugsy, as being smug. But I think there's a stereotype about women who have an opinion, who are of a certain age. So yeah, I guess I'm a little bit smug, like so many.
No, and that's fair, though. That's fair. And I was going to say, in watching a lot of your stuff, I understand how it's almost a sense of anti-humor that you're kind of aiming for.
No, it's actually a sense of humor. It's just a sense of humor that's
humor
defined.
Yeah, my sense of humor is different from your sense of humor. What you do, though, looks like anti-humor. It's attacking the very fans and people that you support. No, that's
attack seems like a strong word. It seems to me some of these people on the Token CEO podcast Facebook page are snowflakes. I mean, Smugsy posts one show a week that provides commentary on things that are Barstool, and people can watch it or not watch it. Like, why is it so upsetting for people to see someone who has like an opinion?
And that's fine, and I respect your opinion completely. Okay, I'm not saying that from this day on there needs to be an end to Smugsy. In fact, I think a lot of what you do content-wise and marketing-wise is fairly smart, at least.
Thank you.
No, I honestly and genuinely mean that. As someone who does content, it's smart. Now, what I really want to get to, though, is that is it necessarily the right place to be promoting this within the Token group? Because back when you were doing Kirk Minahan, your show was more Kirk Minahan based. It honestly seemed like you were trying to get on Kirk Minahan. It was almost like you were looking for an audio clip to make it on there. And that's
I was invited. I'd never heard of Kirk Minahan or Barstool Sports.
You talked about how you were a big Kirk Minahan fan.
Oh, I'd never heard. Kirk Minahan meant nothing to me. Steve Robinson was my connection.
You can go back and listen to the episode.
Right. So I was invited on the Kirk Minahan show, and that's when I got connected with Barstool.
But why would you have been invited if you weren't doing a Kirk Minahan related podcast? Is what I'm saying. Like that. Why would they randomly hit you up to go on that show?
Because Steve Robinson, Kirk Minahan's producer, came on my show and was a guest, and he was the one who suggested, oh, you should listen to the Kirk Minahan show, and I did. And then I was invited on the Kirk Minahan show, and then I was embraced by the Kirk Minahan show, and then I was canceled. And now, whatever. Smugsy has her own story. She's a parody account. She, you think about Big Cat and some of these other personalities on Barstool. They all started somewhere. Why not? Is there space in the Barstool world for Smugsy? I don't know. It seems to me there should be.
Well, I'm not saying that there couldn't be. My main thing is why the Token group and why post it in there. And
because I love the Token CEO podcast. I mean, I think it's so interesting. I think it's so interesting that people who, I've bought several sweatshirts. I own pen stock. I ran the race. I listen to the podcast, and I produce a show every week, as well as, on social media. So it seems to me I'm a fan worthy of having a voice on the Token CEO podcast. I mean, I'm like if you just listen to this week's show when Erica interviewed the two new employees, both, the bow hunter and the publicist, both lovely, super smart, can't wait to hear their stuff. I mean, like, I listen and I like it, and sometimes I have an opinion, and I believe that Erica and Dave, they have the best podcasts because they're the shortest and they're the smartest people, and I think they probably appreciate occasionally having some constructive criticism and having someone actually formulate an independent opinion.
What I'm getting at is a completely different scenario. Because if you go back, and as much as you said it wasn't a Kirk Minahan show, you run through the first episodes, you bring up Kirk Minahan a million times. That guy who came on the show isn't coming on unless there's some connection with Kirk there to me. So that's all very strange. But what I'm really getting at is when you were talking about the Kirk Minahan show, it felt like you were trying to get on that show. And I'm not saying that's what you did. I'm putting that out there. So then,
if that was true, why would that be bad?
I'm not saying it's bad. This is to further my point about the Token CEO group.
Mm-hmm.
You did the whole Kirk Minahan thing. It happened. You were canceled, as you say. And
I was canceled, but of course I wasn't, because I have a following of.
We're gonna get to Kirk Minahan in a second. But in regards to Token, you then changed up the Smugsy show to almost want to engage Token. The Token demographic of that group chat to come and check out your show. You switched from Kirk Minahan to then almost more of a Token CEO based Smugsy show. And to me, if you weren't trying to get on the Kirk Minahan show, then you wouldn't have included all of these almost like money bits in your Smugsy show. And that's almost what it seems with Token CEO at this point. It seems like you're trying to at least stir up the pot within the Facebook group. But what I'm finally trying to say here is that while that may work with Kirk Minahan show, obviously as the Minifans and everything, and they're a crew. I've had to deal with them before too. I get it. Like, they're a rough crowd. But when it comes to Token CEO, why is that the group when clearly it's anti-Barstool at times and no one really wants to hear that?
I disagree that having an opinion about Barstool is anti-Barstool. And I disagree that having a sense of humor that some people can't relate to is somehow off, out of bounds. I mean, come on, give me a break. Why these people are just snowflakes who can't handle someone having everybody has to live in their silo and share the same opinion. What more do I need to do to demonstrate my loyalty to the Token group other than listen to the podcast, support just the Barstool brand? Like I said, I mean, I don't know what else you can do besides produce a show, own stock, buy freaking sweatshirts galore. I mean, I think that people need to get a thicker skin, and if they want to be part of the Token group, just listen to things that they like, and if they don't want to listen or watch the Smugsy show once a week when it's posted, but why can't I have the same opportunity as you? I mean, you post your stuff. What's your MO? Why are you on Token?
My stuff, though. They enjoy my stuff.
Oh, you don't think people can enjoy the Smugsy show?
The comments are very positive. You've posted things, and everyone's gotten up in arms about it. So
not everybody. Some people had a good time. It was fun.
Wait. While we're here on this, I need to bring this up, and I'm sorry that this is bounced around, but we're trying. What is the deal with the Barstool Cougars and emphasis on the S? Who are these Barstool Cougars? Is it just you? I mean, I really can't even tell who's who at this point because we have Smugsy and Cynthia. They're one and the same, but they aren't. Is Smugsy a Cougar? Is Cynthia a Cougar? Is it all the same person?
Well, the Cougars are a fan club. It's a new and exciting fan club, Barstool fan club, made up exclusively for women who like dogs. And Smugsy she identifies as the Barstool Cougar. She's head of the fan club. So it's just something I do on the side.
Can
There's
you
a lot
name
of
these people, though?
yes. Excuse me. Sorry.
I'm sorry. Can you name these Barstool Cougars? Can you actually name them?
Well, I mean, we're a discreet group. I mean, I'm not going to
I mean,
out my
if you're calling
members.
yourself Barstool Cougars, it's not all that discreet, though, Smugsy.
Well, you have to understand that Smugsy is a fictional character. I mean, this is a
I understand
Barstool fan fiction, and
you
so
are Cynthia and Bill. I understand. You're big
completely make believe.
politics and everything. That's a whole separate thing. I understand.
Yeah. So the Cougars are, it's a fan, but I don't want you to feel excluded. I mean, you sad that you are in?
Oh, I'm actually distraught that I am not a Barstool Cougar at this point. I'm actually pretty upset that I haven't received the offer. But
yeah,
I would like to know, if I were to be a Barstool Cougar, who the other Barstool Cougars are. Is that an unfair question?
Well, I mean, it's not an unfair question. It's just unfortunately a question you're not going to get the answer to tonight.
So are they afraid to be known as Barstool Cougars? I mean, you said it was older Barstool fans who have dogs.
Older? I didn't say older. That was your word. I said they were.
A cougar is by definition an older woman. So I'm just saying that's your term.
Anything about age. I said that the Cougars are a group of Barstool fans who are women who love dogs.
Okay, so women who love dogs. That's fine. That's the definition you're using, but at the same time calling them cougars.
Right. Yeah,
right.
I know. It seems
right. What?
Well,
okay.
It's if you had done the research, I think.
Oh my God!
About the Cougars.
At the research, I watched literally 10 of your videos.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I know. That's because it seems like at this point it's been a ploy for page views, because clearly the group isn't reciprocating the love that you are putting out there, and that's fine. I'm not telling you to stop your show. I'm not any of that. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying, why that Token CEO Facebook group? Why that group at all?
Well, it's part of Smugsy's story. But here's the real question: is do you think that should not have a say on the Token CEO Facebook group page? I mean, just think just because I have a show that might express an opinion that might offend some of the tokens, that I shouldn't be able to express myself?
Not at all.
Oh, good.
I'm saying still do the show.
Oh, good.
Why post it in there? Why?
Because often it's a commentary about the Token CEO podcast.
Exactly.
I listen to the podcast and then about a commentary about that's the point. Show. What?
It's a Token CEO based discussion on the podcast, because it switched from a Kirk Minahan based discussion after you were canceled from that show.
Right, so but I mean, it's Barstool Sports, so that's about part of my take. I mean, the whole thing about Barstool is just, it's a big old brawl, right? I mean, everyone's looking for scrapping. So I'm a Barstool Sports fan. I think Dave Portnoy is hysterical. I love Erica Nardini. I enjoy so much of what Barstool does, and I have an opinion, and I follow the stock market, and I have experience and a job and a real life, and I have fun doing the Smugsy show. And so for people who don't like it, don't fucking watch it. I mean,
well, I'm saying that's perfect.
All these crybabies. Oh, don't post your show on the channel. It's so upsetting. Give me a break. Grow up.
Okay,
you want a job at Barstool and you can't take a fucking Smugsy?
I'm not the one upset, Smugsy. I'm not the one upset at all.
With your generation?
I'm airing out the voices of everyone else in that chat. I am the one standing.
Not everyone. Smugsy has some plans.
And I'm not afraid. I'm not Medium Poppy who doesn't show up. Guess who did research? Me. Yeah, what's up? So I'm just saying, I am this in between. I honestly feel like I understand you a bit more than the other people. So I'm giving you this chance to talk it out and say why it should be a thing. But at the same time, I need to bring up these facts that have been there along the way. I have to.
Well, let me ask you this. In your view, how could the Smugsy show improve? Do you have any constructive criticism along those lines?
To be honest, I don't think that I need to be involved at all. I think that you can do what you want, and that's because the internet is a wonderful place where you will find people who will support you and who love this show. I'm sure that you have loyal subscribers. I get it. But that doesn't mean that if everyone is hating on it in one group chat or one Facebook group, that needs to be consistently posted in there. And I'm just saying this because I know that people are annoyed by it and are possibly wanting to kick you out of the group. And
Yes.
that's why I'm here.
Don't you think that's an interesting proposition, Jack? I mean, is someone going to get kicked out of a group because other people just can't handle what they have to say? I mean, that seems like, I mean, how?
Well, that's why I'm giving you this opportunity to fully air it out, to let people know what this whole thing, this whole Smugsy world is really about. Because it honestly feels a little bit world building.
You know, and it's about the voice of a seasoned, businesswoman who's not a slut, who is a Barstool fan, and just kind of doing her own thing. I mean, what is the harm to these people who are offended? I mean, really, what do they just want to be surrounded by people they agree with? Because that's the problem. I mean, you can't just live in a silo. You have to sometimes hear or see that people you disagree with, people who are older or younger or different colored skin. I mean, I think these people in the token group can handle it.
But Smugsy, that's the same type of argument about the Minifans and everything. And then you were canceled from that show. So clearly something didn't work there. And then what was that?
Was I canceled from the show? I mean, I was canceled by Kirk
that's
Minahan.
Your word.
Like, everybody's canceled by Kirk Minahan. He's probably watching right now. Hi, Kirk.
Yeah. I'm just saying, like, I don't really get it because clearly it didn't work the last time with the Minifans, and then it's not really working with Token CEO.
I don't know. I mean, my numbers are going up. I feel like I have a little bit of momentum.
That's all great, but people in the group itself do not want to hear it or talk about it. I mean, I'm all for you being in the group.
There's people who like my show, people who like read the paper every day and have an opinion and like something a little edgy, aren't just like, yay, rah, rah, rah. I don't have an independent thought in my head. I'm just going to say it's good. If everything is good that happens here. Oh, come on. I mean, when you get to a certain age, Jack, you appreciate someone who has an opinion, someone who's actually,
I appreciate your opinion. I've been saying the entire time, I genuinely do. And I understand what you are doing. I'm just wondering if this is the right platform for it, because clearly it hasn't been.
Well, maybe you're right. I mean, maybe the token CEOs should be like a little preschool, like,
I don't think so. I don't think it needs to be that at all.
Oh.
But preschool was a fucking great time.
Yeah. I liked preschool.
What's the problem there?
Good times. Finger paint, loved it. Snack time. Yeah. So, Jack, let me hear a little bit about you, though. I mean,
I don't know, Smugsy. I have a question.
You're all over the place on social media, and obviously, you're
Smugsy. We agreed to
some young man aspirations. What do you hope? Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
I hope to finish the interview fully. Honestly,
well, I think you will. I'm confident.
Okay, awesome. Seriously, Smugsy, I want to ask a couple more questions here.
Okay.
We can maybe get into Cynthia and all that. It's a lot of world building here. I feel like Marvel should hit you up or something because there's a lot going on.
It's yeah, I know.
So I'm very, very curious at the actual like Smugsy thing. So what's the separation? Where is Cynthia and where is Smugsy? Are they the same person? Are they not? I feel like every single
not. They're not. Cynthia is a lawyer who is like admitted to practice law, like in Washington, D.C. and federal courts all over New England, and has cases and reports to judges and has clients and has a family.
Seriously, honestly commendable work.
She has a professional obligation to be fully transparent about what's going on. Smugsy is a fictional character to allow Cynthia to have artistic expression, to sort of channel my inner artist, to do some creative writing. I mean, I used to do a lot of writing on, I've always been a writer. Okay. I wrote on Huffington Post. I had a column for 3 years. I've had a blog. I'm a writer. And this is dipping my toes. I've also done radio. I mean, so the separation is that Smugsy is a fictional character, and this is Barstool fan fiction, and Smugsy is a character that embodies a confident woman who is opinionated as perhaps Dave Portnoy or Kirk Minahan. And whether there's a seat at the table in the Barstool space for someone like that, I don't know. But
And I'm not even saying that there isn't. Everything you've said makes complete sense. Straight up science. We're rolling with science here. I get it from the show. I understand that you go with the facts and everything, but at the same time, I'm so amazed by it. And honestly, I'm curious as to why.
Jack, there's a group of fans for the Smugsy show who are not women. They're called Smugsy boys.
Yeah,
maybe you could. I don't know if you're.
I'm sorry, I can't do
want to pursue this. I mean, you could maybe volunteer or have a leadership position in Smugsy boys.
I probably won't, but I'll keep it up there. I'll keep it locked in right next to the Cougar Club.
Exactly.
But there was something else that I was wanting to ask you. So can we get more into? I want to know Cynthia, actually, because Smugsy is this character, and I understand character building and the work that goes into that. So it's honestly impressive. And everything you said before about who Cynthia is, I said it earlier, but I truly want to commend you on that because you've done some phenomenal work. I truly mean that, and I respect
you.
But why Smugsy? Like, where did this idea actually originate? Was it after the political career was all over it? Or I'm not saying it was, but I'm just saying at a point in your political career, maybe it was something that felt good to air out some of those differing opinions that maybe Cynthia didn't even have.
Well, it wasn't menopause, if that's what you're getting at. It was no, it seriously was having Steve Robinson on the radio in an interview and learning for the first time what Barstool Sports was and who Kirk Minahan was, and being invited on the show, and then creating this character and then just going with it. It's just fun. And I follow the stock market, and I'm sick of politics, although I do love politics. And mostly I love following Steve Robinson's plight because he's a young man from Maine, and that's where I'm from. And so it's, I'm doing what all of you are doing, and that is making my way on a journey through life that includes trying a lot of different things. And what the fuck? Smugsy gives me a vessel to channel like jokes, thoughts, feelings. I can use the F word. And it's a lot of fun.
No, I get that. I think it is fun, and it should be fun for you. Like, I genuinely hope you are enjoying doing this.
I do. I enjoy it very much.
Then, it would be even crazier to me. I enjoy the fact that you do enjoy this.
The Smugsy show is actually written, like every week I actually write a script. It's not just I go on air. I mean, so it's, it's like, why do people, I don't know, run? Like the same reason I get up and run 3 or 5 or whatever, 7 miles every day. It's just a good exercise.
And I get it. And at the same time, it's hard because when I was researching it and looking into it, I see parallels with myself. I do. Barstool Coleman, whatever, is equally as much of a character as Smugsy. It's a fair comparison. It really is.
I must say, I didn't know about Barstool Coleman.
Really.
Tell me about Barstool Coleman. Who's that?
No. No, I'm sticking with you.
What do you mean? We have a live audience, I hope. Maybe we do. I don't know.
Yeah. No, for the people at home, Barstool Coleman's me doing my normal stuff, but more sports-based and kind of use it for my own TikTok and that kind of stuff.
So where do you find that? If I wanted to find you and follow you, and
I'm terrified of that happening.
I promise I won't troll you.
Oh my God. Yeah, I'll hit you up after the show if you would actually like to follow, and I'm going to follow along as well. But the other thing that I really wanted to get at here, though, was you talk on the show about it being a self-help show. And I get that. Like,
it's a self-help show for people who have been canceled by the Kirk Minahan show. That's a joke.
Yes,
that's a joke.
And I understand
the Kirk Minahan show Survivor Network for people who are canceled by the Kirk Minahan show because Smugsy, allegedly was canceled. Although,
then why not make a Facebook group of those people?
Oh, because it's just fiction. I don't want to do the work. It's just fun. It's just
Well,
fun.
I mean,
It's
you don't want to do the work, but then you expect people
well,
to check
doing
out the
other
page
work.
views and buy merch and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, hey, if you don't like Smugsy and you don't not down with what Smugsy's putting up, then just whatever. Don't follow.
No, I'm not opposed to Smugsy. If anything, I think I'm actually one of the people within the group who actually gets it a little more than some of the rest.
I think you do. I think you get me, Jack.
And I think it's honestly some funny stuff here and there when you actually kind of get it a bit.
Well, it's funny if you've actually listened to the Token CEO podcast and you've listened to Dave Portnoy's podcast and you followed along in the news.
Yeah,
it's funny. It's not funny if you're not like into.
I understand that. And I think that the crux of the problem though is like it's still like in a group that doesn't really want or need it.
Well, maybe after tonight's interview, we could do a little poll question and see like how many people want to censor Smugsy. So what is it? If
it's not censoring though, because I think that has a bad connotation around it.
Like people saying like,
no, I don't think it is.
See,
I think if anything, it's trying to help you out to find a better way to get this out there. Seriously, like if you want to do this and you are gung ho on it, by all means, I keep saying that. By all means,
Jack, if you had a YouTube show that related to Barstool,
yes,
and the topic of your show was the Token CEO podcast, and you were a member of the Token Facebook page, you wouldn't post a link? I mean, everybody's posting all their shit all the time. This is once a fucking week. There's a link to his show. Get over it.
But I probably, to be honest,
on my own time, and there's a lot of people
not liking it though. And I would at least
they don't have to watch it. You know, they don't have to watch it. I mean, please.
And that's fair. But I'm not even saying to fully kick you out of the group. That's not who I am. I think that people should speak their mind. And I'm not opposed to you having a post. I am speaking for the rest of the people though. And that's why I think it's imperative that I was the one to give this interview. And
I appreciate it so much. And you've done an excellent job. And it's just been a pleasure working with you. And maybe we can
we actually do one final thing? Can we do one final thing, please?
Sure.
One thing. I would love to do a live ASMR session with you right now. If we could just get into that mindset and actually, I genuinely mean this. This isn't me like messing around. Like I want to do this with you. Okay. How do you do it? Well, you're the ASMR like queen. I'm not actually. The way you said that was perfect ASMR. Maybe that is the new direction for the Smugsy show. You know, instead of I actually think that's a great idea. This ASMR. I mean, people are calling it Barstool ASMR. If you actually paid attention to the comments, people are saying this. Yeah, you know, it's tough when you're busy. But listen, I understand. I really do. I think you have a lot of promises, young man. I appreciate very much this conversation. I appreciate talking with you as well, and I really hope to keep this conversation going in the clubhouse that we want to do right after this. I really would love to. And again, I do want to say that you have been phenomenal in everything, and I'm not talking just Smugsy. Cynthia as well has been very reciprocal between the two of us going back and forth and setting stuff up. I commend you for that because I know a lot of people aren't that professional. So I understand that there's a passion to it. It more so my main peeve was the distribution of Smugsy and the Smugsy show. So I think that's a good place to stop for now, and then we'll pick up in the clubhouse. So if anyone watching would like to join us for that, we're definitely going to keep it rolling and keep the conversation going. But for now, Smugsy, thank you so much. Genuinely, it's been a blast just getting to know you and pick your brain. I think that it at least gives somewhat of a little more of an understanding or a context to some people. I really do think that. Well, thank you. And on at the clubhouse. So if you go at Smugsy is my handle or whatever, and that's where the room is. So please join us. Yeah, let's go. Jack, thank you. You did an excellent job. And a rising star. Your future is bright. You're too kind, Smugsy. Okay, take care. See you. Bye. See you soon.